Yo, welcome back to my channel. So it's January while I'm filming this, but you'll be seeing this in February. But I just wanted to come on here and to tell you what books I'm reading this year. This year, I'm gonna be honest, like I want to do much better with like finishing books. That's my biggest thing. Like I am great for buying books and starting books, but when it comes to finishing, like I really need to do a better job of that. And I think a lot of it is, for me, is just being intentional and finding time. Like being intentional and finding time. During the pandemic, I started so many books and I stopped right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I was just like, it's a new year and it's just like, yo, I want to finish all of these books that I started way back during the panoramic. You know what I'm saying? So I figured that I'll come on here and talk to you guys and just show you all of the books that I plan to finish and all the books I plan to read this year. So you ready? Let's go. Coming in at number one is The High Five Habit. This is the book that I'm actually currently reading, and this is a book by Mel Robbins. And if you don't know who Mel Robbins is, like I just feel like Mel Robbins is the only person that understands me in my life right now. Like I love Mel Robbins. I came across Mel Robbins like years ago. I remember like around about 2016, 2017, when she was, you know, talking and telling people that like, hey, nobody is coming to, you know, save your life. You know, your happiness, your responsibility, your dreams, your happiness, those are your responsibilities. And I think it's a video entitled "No One's Coming." She'd be like, "No one's coming." But I got reacquainted with her actually during the pandemic, during the panoramic, when she was on The Breakfast Club. I don't know why I feel so embarrassed to say that I watched The Breakfast Club, but anyway. But I got reacquainted with Mel Robbins while she was on The Breakfast Club, and she was actually promoting this book, and that's when she wrote it. And it is just a good book called The High Five Habit. It just talks about, you know, when you get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and I think a lot of times we encourage people to do self-affirmations to say something, but she talks about how you need to high five yourself. You know, high five yourself in the mirror just to let yourself know that you're doing the best you can, that you're doing you know, that you're doing your best and that you approve of yourself early in the morning. Because a lot of times we get up in the morning and we don't give ourselves that time to just sit with ourselves. So we check our phone, we go to work, we go to the kids, you know, and we start doing stuff, but we don't actually tend to ourselves and our dreams first. So I love this book. This is the first one that I'm going to finish, called The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins. All right. So the second book that I am going to finish this year is this book right here. Like if you are a guy watching me, you probably done heard this book. Your uncle, your daddy, the YouTubers, the podcasters, everybody that heard this book. This is like the holy grail of, you know, manhood and all of that. So I actually found this book from The Roommates this is back years ago when I used to watch The Roommates. And I remember it was a podcast that they were doing, and I remember just stopping and ordering that book like right then and there. But I actually got to read this book, and I'm actually excited to do so. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I've read some of it, but and it's definitely needed. It's definitely needed. So I'm definitely excited to finish this book this year. It's called The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. And of course, I'm pretty sure y'all have heard about this book. I'm pretty sure y'all have read this book. Like so many people have read this book, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. And just talking about financial literacy, saving, all of that. And I had bought this book during the panoramic, like right as soon as the pandemic started. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't started it, but I do plan on reading this book because I'm serious. Like being financially educated is so important. It is so important. I think that's the gateway. That is the opening of the door to financial freedom, is just being educated first. So I am so excited to read this book this year. This is like high on my list. I think it talks about I think he talks about the debt snowball in here. I've heard that so many times on YouTube. I've watched videos, but this is by the money guru himself, Dave Ramsey. So I am definitely going to finish this book this year. So yeah, man, I'm excited about this one. All right, so the next book that I am going to start and finish this year is Living in Color. This book right here, Living in Color by Tommy Davidson. And I saw his interview because let me just give some context. So I used to work from home, like in like during the pandemic. I used to work from home, and I think this was even before the pandemic. Like I bought this actually. I take that back. I actually bought this before the pandemic, like about a few months before the pandemic, because I used to work a job where we would just key, and I would like always listen to YouTube videos, The Breakfast Club, preaching videos, inspirational videos. And so he was on The Breakfast Club, promoting this book, and I just really liked how he. Two things that really drew my attention was how he was just talking about how he was, adopted interracially. He talked about how his mom, wasn't a lady of color, but she helped, throw that system, that separation system and that divide in the school system. So I really like that. And during the interview, he was talking about where he was the night that Biggie Smalls got shot. And so how he tells that story and builds that story up, I was like, I got to get that book. And I remember buying that book, but have I started it? No. But are you judging me? I hope not. But this is a book that I cannot wait to actually read this year. So I'm excited about that. All right, so the next book that I am going to read this year is this book by Jesse Duplantis. It's called Your Everything Is His Anything. And Jesse Duplantis, I know there's a lot of controversy about people thinking like, oh, he's a prosperity preacher, and hey, you are entitled to your thoughts. But if you actually listen to his sermons, like not so much now, but I used to love Jesse Duplantis, and I still listen to a lot of his sermons and just how he talks about how God has blessed him. I mean, I do believe that, I'm not saying that God wants us pimped out, you know what I'm saying? But I do believe that God is a God that does desire for us to be well taken care of. And so in this book, it's called Your Everything Is His Anything, meaning that everything you pray for, when you pray, God can do anything. Like there's no limits to prayer and faith. So I bought this book from hearing it in one of his sermons a couple of years, I think it was last year. And this is one, I started it, but I got to finish this one. Of course, the book that is on my list is A Promised Land. A Promised Land by Barack Obama. So I actually bought this book during the pandemic, and do I even have to say it? Like, he was our first black president, and just to hear his thoughts and his journey, of him, writing his, memoir, his presidential memoir, it was enough for me to be like, I'm sold. And I literally bought this, I believe as soon as it came out, And, but I haven't started it. But this year I'm definitely going to dig into this because it was definitely a huge moment, like, to who I am, as a person of color. So I'm excited about this one. I'm definitely excited about this one. Yeah, I got to start this one. And this is definitely a thick book. Like, we might have to do a book club or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So the next book that I think this is the one that I'm most excited about. I'm not even gonna hold you. The book that I am going to definitely finish this year, because I'm almost done with this one, is the book by the Queen herself, Respect. The biography of the Queen of Soul. Now, if you don't know me, if you know me is what I'm trying to say, then you know that I love Aretha Franklin. I love Aretha Franklin. It's so funny because I did my 2022, iMusic, they do your top view artists, and she literally was my number one. I think it was like 6,000 hours, like playtime hours that I was listening to Aretha Franklin. And I'm not talking about her like commercial song. I'm talking about deep into her musicography. Is that a word? Or discography or whatever. Her music catalog. Like, I like her deep songs, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to get this book. Like, I got this book like right after her funeral, like a few months after she passed, I believe. Somewhere around there. I might be lying. Somewhere around there. I don't know. But I got this book and I've been reading it, like I'm almost done. But part of the reason why I wanted to get this book is because if you know about Aretha Franklin as a person, she was very guarded. She went through a lot, but she was just very guarded. And I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn more about like her life. And another thing about was, I think that drew me is that I wanted to learn why certain albums did not sell in the 60s for her. I mean, in the 70s for her. Like Aretha, in my opinion, was at her peak. And then, in the 80s, her voice got husky. I'm more of a fan of If you ask me my favorite Aretha Franklin era, it's gonna always be the 70s. It's gonna always be the 70s. She was in her bag in the 70s, but there were a few albums that just did not do her well, and so that interested me, especially her albums when she switched to Arista in 1980. So I was just curious, about what was going on at the time. And so it's funny because side story, I literally met this girl, and one of the questions that I always ask a girl when I first meet her, just to break up from that, how was your day? How are you? I always ask, like, what song or songs do you currently have on repeat right now? And so this one girl, like, she answered, and so we got to talk about music. And so she was like, what type of music you listen to? I was like, because I do listen to a wide range of music, from like Jodeci, Shirley Caesar, Marvin Gaye, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett. And I was just like, Aretha Franklin. I was telling her, I was like, I love Aretha Franklin and the other. I was like, so what you listening to right now? She was like, this song by Glorilla. Now, I had no idea who Glorilla was. I'm so serious. I literally had to ask my coworker. I'm like, who is that? He was like, oh, that's that one chick. I was like, and I looked her up. I was like, okay, beautiful gowns. That's all I got to say. Beautiful gowns. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely going to finish this book. I think this is the one I'm most excited about. The Queen of Freaking Soul. I love Aretha Franklin. All right, so coming in last, the book that I am going to finish this year is Gary Vee's book, Crushing It. I started this book, I want to say back in 2019, and I haven't finished it. Anybody that knows me know I love Gary Vee. I say all the time, if you was to ask me, the 3 people that I want to be stuck in the elevator with for an hour, it would be, as always, Mel Robbins, Iyanla Vanzant, and Gary Vee. Those are my top motivational influences. But I love Gary Vee. I was in the airport on my way to, what was I on my way to? Nashville, Texas? I was on my way to somewhere about a year or so ago. And this dude was like, yo, you know about Gary Vee? And we got to talking. Then I was on my way to Chicago that same year, and I took the Megabus, back when the Megabus was still a thing. And some dude sat next to me, and he was like, man, we got to talk. He was like, you read that book? We got to talking about Gary Vee. But if you don't know me, I love Gary Vee. If you follow me on Instagram, which I really want you to do, follow me on Instagram at Mark's Manifestations, then I talk about Gary Vee a lot. I mean, a lot. I love Gary Vee. So I am going to finish this book this year, and I'm excited about it. Yeah, so those are the books that I am going to finish this year. Like, I really want to get back on my reading game. They say it's post-pandemic, but we're well past, I'll just say we're well past 2020. And I know we don't have as much time as we did, sitting in the house. But I definitely got to read those books. So, drop in the comments. Let me know what you're reading this year. Drop in the comments. Let me know what you're reading this year. And I'm excited. And I will catch y'all in the next video.